Two rare birds today, Doxa Army bronze bezel, and spending some quality time with Doxa's #1 diamond, Jackie. Let's check her out. Let's check it out. Welcome to the show. I am your host, D, and on deck we have got Doxa Army with a bronze bezel. I want to give a major shout out to Sammy, Camilla, and Jackie herself for loaning this in to me and the channel for some review time, some quality time with this Doxa Army. I've been wanting to get it on wrist for a while now. Couldn't do it without them, so thank you very much. Actually, kind of a bit of a whim. I went to the District Time Watch Show in DC on Friday. And I usually don't jet set like that. It was a road trip. It was only about 4 hours for me, but I got to hang out with a bunch of cool watch people and scored some interviews. Not only with Jackie herself. That interview takes place later in this video. Got to interview Mark at Long Island Watches. I met up with Echo Nutra and RT at Vortic Watches. So stay tuned for those episodes forthcoming later in the week after this one. I want to give additional shout out to some watch buddies. I was rolling heavy with my buddy Jason from Watch Rolling, the Watch Rolling podcast. I got to hang with my buddy Type B Flieger, Trap Vision 3D, Wristful Ignorance, and I even got to work the booth with Mike and Trey at Christopher Ward. It was full tilt boogie the entire time on day 2. Didn't get a lick of footage of me hanging with Mike and Trey, but an absolute blast helping them work the booth. It was really interesting to see what goes on as a presenter, as a vendor at one of those shows. And they were jam-packed from beginning to end. But a little more on that in a future episode, soon to be released. Right now, Doxa in Diamonds. Here we go. Ba-bam. Doxa is in the house. As are most of my Doxa books from the Good Doc in preparation of my upcoming interview with Dr. Peter McLean-Millar. Please stay tuned for that. I was going through some of the books that I've purchased from him over the years, but I also wanted to kind of feature some rare birds today. First of all, my personal Doxa. This is the Time and Tide collab they did a few years back. Shout out Andrew McCutcheon. Hope you're doing well, buddy. But also, I got a Doxa in on loan today from Jackie at Doxa. I want to give her thanks for arranging this loan in of this, come on focus, Doxa Army. So is it an Army watch or is it a dive watch? Well, I've got my dive gloves on. I've got my Army gloves on. Not quite a full sport, but pretty epic nonetheless. And one of the rarer Doxas, if we consider its history generally speaking. This one has, oh, there's a little bit of D. Hello, D. Nice to see you. Oh, no, nice to see you. This one has a very unusual history. The original Doxa Army was released in the late 60s, somewhere near about 1968, and maybe easy to tell that because if you look at this bezel insert, this says, this is a countdown bezel, but this insert looks a little bit familiar if we consider another watch from the period, the Omega Seamaster 300. Namely, I've got a Watchco version of it. That insert is rather unusual, and it's very different than the standard Doxa insert. Usually we're accustomed to Doxa diving watches having that countdown, or not countdown rather, but that compression scale type one. But this is a very rare bird to have this, and it also has very different hand set. I'm gonna put both in screen D so people can see. Usually we're accustomed to Doxa having one orange hand, the minute hand. As we know, Doxa orange is the most legible underwater, but this one is a little bit different. Now, it's reputed that the original Doxa Army was created for Swiss divers who ended up having a preference for the orange dial variant of the time, but the other military members in the Swiss Army, maybe the ones who carried the knives, wanted to use it, so they loved it. So it was the Army. Now, every now and then one of these will pop pre-owned, and gosh, it's usually had a life, so to speak, and it's got 12 to 15 K attached to the price tag, but no need to fear. You can get a modern Army with all that modern Doxa goodness, helium escape valve, for not a lot of money from Doxa.com. Or your local Doxa reseller. Shout out Jay at Topper Fine Jewelers, Burlingame. Jay and Topper are trusted suppliers of the channel. I've bought from them, love those guys. Thank you, Jay, for all that you do. And I dare say this one very well may be on my short list for another Doxa soon. I've got a lot of things coming up Doxa related. Cannot wait to speak to the doctor of Doxa himself. That is coming up. I'm probably going to do a live show of that in the coming weeks, but have no fear, I will announce that. That flag intro was a good bit of fun. I surprised Jacque and her teammates at Doxa at the district time watch show with that. Pretty funny. You should have seen the look on her face. I should have had someone record it, but I wanted to make her smile and a way of saying thank you for being a channel partner and letting me borrow this watch. I was very grateful to her for doing so. All right, let's put some numbers up on the board. Throw some dims up. Looking at 43 millimeters. Now, please do not skip forward. Do not stop the video because Doxa does 43 millimeters like no one else because of these very short dimensions on the lug to lug, the very polite lug to lug. Fits your wrist, fits my wrist. I'm at 6.5 inches on my wrist. I will demo it for you in a moment. Because of the lug to lug and this cushion style case, it does not fly off. I was about to say it does not fly off its hinges. It does not fly off of the wrist like a batarang. That lug to lug being 44.5, extremely polite. In this iteration, we are examining a version that has a bronze bezel. I myself have a preference for steel on this, but it is a nice accent, and this green strap is certainly Hobby of Hours approved. But we're looking at 12.1, so quite svelte. The Doxa Army is getting up early and doing its push-ups and running its miles, so not very thick there. Strap, 20 millimeters. If you notice the fit of that strap, let me see if I can... Oh no, I gotta say, quick shout out to whoever invented the Doxa clasp. It has the pasta extension in case you had a little too much to eat at lunch. Love that. But the strap is a little bit inset, if you can tell right there. But 20 millimeters is that distance for you, so plenty of options there. Of course, we've got sapphire. Of course, we're going to turn it around so it's right side up. And inside here, they list it as a Swiss movement, which is code for it's either utilizing an ETA 2824 or a Salida 200 with that date at 3 o'clock. Nice and, locked in there in the design language. I rather like that, how that bit of that black paint square extends out here. We'll see a loom shot of that in a moment. In fact, let's show it now. So she's got some loom for you. That Swiss movement is going to give us 38 hours of power. And the cost is unusually good. You're going to pay a little bit of a premium for this bezel if bronze is your cuppa. But there's a link to the Doxa website and to Topper Fine Jewelers down below. So please check them out. Tell Jay your boy D sent you and ask for the friend price, and she'll hook you up with a fabulous watch. They've got fabulous pricing out there. Absolutely love them. Love me some Topper Fine Jewelers and our good friend Jay. All right, I'm going to take off my Goonie gloves, take off my personal Doxa, and let's put her on wrist. And ba-bam. Doxa Army in an army green strap, pasta clasp on my 6.5 inch wrist. You see what I mean? Long lead. Not only is she thin, but also she is sitting well because of the lug to lug. That's why whenever you try out a watch, don't be put off by the initial dimensions, particularly the diameter as you're trying to get your hands on any given watch to try it out, because this lug to lug measurement means more than sheer diameter, as we can see here. Now I have plenty of 43 millimeter watches. I can pull most of them off, but this one I pull off with ease because of how it sits on the wrist. I think I should charge Doxa for coining the phrase pasta clasp. I don't know. You know what, Jacque? You've been so kind. I'm going to give it to you for free. So feel free to use pasta clasp in your advertising. And yeah, loving this piece. So glad I got to experience it. Doxa is expanding their dominion in the U.S. There is a headquarters as such getting set up in Florida. I forgot to ask Jackie about that because I know she's been working very hard on that. And they are showing up at the shows, and they are beginning to pop up in a bunch of other ADs throughout the country. But the nice thing about Topper Fine Jewelers is they can ship anywhere, and Jay is friggin' awesome. You're the best. Jay, I'm going to be in touch soon. We've got some business to discuss, my friend. But this is the Doxa Army. Now, this is a countdown bezel unidirectional. I mentioned that earlier, but this is when you would want to count down a length of time, typically for when military operators are performing a dive mission underwater where they can't pop up, stick their head up and see where they're going. So think secret missions where they need to time lengths of their swim from point A to point B. So that's the general purpose use for a countdown bezel. You have also seen this style of bezel on my Tudor FXD, but very well executed here. And I have to say, these Doxa Army hands are rather charming, and I really rather love it. And now I don't have to chase one for 15 G's all over the internet. I can simply get one from our friends at Doxa. In fact, let's hear a little bit from our number one friend at Doxa, the diamond of Doxa, Jackie herself.
Are you familiar with Doxa?
Look at her fixing her hair. We are zooming up on Doxa's number one diamond, Jackie. How are you, darling?
Hi, great. How are you? So good to be together again.
I should have done this interview in October when I met you at Windup.
I know.
But here we are in DC, and she did indeed bring the Doxa diamonds, although she is Doxa's number one diamond.
Absolutely. Thank you, darling.
Tell us a little bit about, how did this watch come to be? You're known as a purpose-built tool watch, and now you got something that's très elegant in the collection. How did that come to be?
Yes, absolutely. So Doxa is always looking to expand, and we always want to keep water functionality, diving at the forefront of the brand, but we also have to go with a little bit of the trends, a little bit where the industry's going, and also we want to go into our uncharted territory. We haven't done gemstones in, I think it's something like 80 or so years in Doxa, since before the 60s, obviously. So we wanted to dive back into diamonds. So
did
this
you just
watch,
say dive back into diamonds?
of course, I'm very punny. You know, come on.
Lovely.
I'm all Doxa all the time. So with the diamonds watch, we have 107 VSF colored diamonds, and you can see with our lovely little light the fire and the brilliance of these diamonds. It's sincerely breathtaking. And then this one is featuring 13 blue sapphires, whereas in our other colorways, so this watch is going to come with the mother of pearl backdrop. It comes in all of our normal Doxa colors except yellow. So you can get it in our new sea emerald with emeralds. We can do aquamarine, mother of pearl with aquamarines. And of course, this diamond piece is on our sub 200T case. You know, the one that was super famous last year, first time diving under 40 millimeters since the 70s. So it's a super fabulous watch. And this one is a very special treasure. So you can't buy it on Doxa.com. You have to go and find this treasure in an authorized dealer near you. So today I'm here with Little Treasury, and they have one of the Caribbean, sorry, I almost said Sea Emerald, Caribbean, it's a little early in the morning, diamond pieces.
All right, Jackie, tell me what I'm holding on to here, my dear.
So, no, I had to bring something a little special and a little exclusive just for Hobby of Ours. So what we have here is the limited edition 93 units made Clive Cussler. So this came out last year, so July 15th, 2024. It would have been Mr. Cussler's 93rd birthday if he was still with us. So we made 93 units of the Shark Hunter Clive Cussler, and that's what we're looking at. This was an exclusive to DoxaWatches.com. And I wanted to bring it.
I've seen the one on the right. I've never seen the one on the left.
Yes,
I'm just going to walk out of here with both of these. Okay?
Yeah, that's totally fine. Absolutely, anything for you.
Any plans for another GMT to be released? Because you know I love me some Doxa GMTs.
There's a lot of plans with Doxa. You never know what we're going to do next.
Outstanding. I'm rooting for GMT and titanium, but I'll settle
titanium, big wishes. What do you think I am, Santa Claus?
I think you're the number one Doxa diamond is what I think.
That's what I think too, absolutely.
Well, I hope you have a fabulous show today, Jackie. Thank you so much for taking the time and sharing the diamonds, darling.
Thank you so much. Thank you for loving Doxa and always coming to see me. It's always a pleasure.
You've got to come back with me.
Where?
Back to the future.
Ultimately, who is this watch for? Let's say you're trying to add an unusual diver to your collection. This one certainly qualifies, as do many of the other Doxa dive watches. Certainly I own a few of them. I don't own one of these yet, but this has a more traditional bezel that is perhaps a little bit easier to use. If you're more of a desk diver or someone who is timing steak, although to be fair, you could do that with this as well, this style of bezel. But let's say you wanted something a little even more unusual in your watch collection. You don't get any more unusual than this Doxa Army. This watch is very well steeped in legend practically. For a good while, people were claiming it wasn't real. Like a UFO. So it does have a bit of a UFO type look to it. But now, yeah, Doxa's come out. Yep, we made that watch. And the one or two obscure references that are out there, at one point they thought it was just a prototype that went floating about, but no, she was a real bird out in the late 60s, and she could add some modern vintage flair to your wrist if you so desired. I don't know, the bronze bezel's growing on me a little bit. They make several versions in their lineup with green dials and whatnot. I bet this would look really good on their carbon as well. Like a Doxa Carbon Army. That'd be kind of cool. And that's who might be in the market for an unusual piece like this. Jackie, Sammy, Camilla, from the bottom of my heart, here at Hobby of Hours Central, thank you so much for your trust and your partnership and loaning this watch in for review. I shall get her boxed up and sent back to you ASAP. Very, very, very grateful for you loaning it in. I was so glad I got to spend some time with it. If you need a Doxa AD, Topper Fine Jewelers, Burlingame, California, more or less in the San Francisco area, give them a call. Their website information is below. Ask for Jay. Tell her your boy D sent you. Thank you for coming along on the ride in this wonderful, beautiful hobby of ours. Hope you enjoyed it, and hope that wherever you are in this world, that you are blessed. We will catch you in the next one. Peace. If you'd like to support the channel, head over to hobbyofhours.com. We've got artwork, coffee mugs, hats, t-shirts, and even a watch book. 1001 Watch Designs, Volume 1. Over 1,000 designs in here. Steampunk, super futuristic, kaleidoscope, even super real ones. Watches that you could probably put on your wrist today. It's a great way to support the channel. Thanks for coming along on the ride.